actually just low-key because we had come back from vacation, just me and the wife and the baby hanging out, watching the game, and I had a meltdown, and she recorded the whole thing on her Instagram.
Yeah, I was watching her Instagram, and I was like, I didn't know if I was going to have to get in the car and head up to the local hospital because it looked like you were losing your marbles on Sunday.
I got so pissed off. I mean, legitimately, I got so pissed off. Like, my face turned beet red, and I got hot, and I was sweating. And that's how mad I got. And I usually don't I'm trying to, like, keep my mouth. I got a potty mouth. I've had a potty mouth since I was a young kid. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from.
You know where it came from. Don't even.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
The old man and you are a carbon copy of each other. That's why this would work, and my dad and your dad would be great friends because the apples have not fallen far from the tree.
Right. So, I mean, I was trying to keep my cool in front of the kid, and I was just losing it. And at one point when Cody Parkey missed the field goal, I threw my hat on the ground, I screamed, and I probably gave Jamie about $20 for the swear jar upstairs, and the baby started crying. I was like, I gotta tone it down. And then as soon as Miami won the game with the game-clinching field goal, I screamed again. I was like, damn,
But I don't want to take away from your fandom there, but honestly, when Cody Parkey lined up for that kick, my expectations that he hit that were somewhere between 3 and 5%. I had no faith he was going to make a 53-yarder.
Well, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I did tweet out before he kicked the field goal that if you miss this, me and Juice are going to drive up there and we're going to take a dump on your car.
I did see that, and the minute that I saw that tweet, I said, I guess I got to drive up and take a dump on somebody's car. Because I honestly had no faith of him making that kick.
Cody Parkey's been he won the game in Arizona.
This is not a knock on Cody Parkey. And we've had this in our mentions on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I've seen
it. My faith in him making that kick was next to zero, and that doesn't fall on anybody's shoulders but Matt Nagy and the crew.
Right, I agree 100% with that. I don't understand why, when his career log is a 54-yarder or 52-yarder, I believe.
Somewhere around there.
I don't understand the logic. Is we give the ball to Cohen, then we give the ball to Benny Cunningham, then we give the ball to Jordan Howard. I understand that.
It went Howard, Cohen, Benny Cunningham.
No, Benny Cunningham was second down carry, I believe.
No, which upset me fully,
right?
Because Benny Cunningham should not be getting the ball on third down.
Well, Benny Cunningham shouldn't.
And that's what I tweeted it out.
In game time, he shouldn't be getting the ball in a clinching. He's a third-string running back.
The third down play call was inexcusable for even a rookie head coach in Matt Nagy. That was my opinion on that.
His thing is BU. He's been aggressive, and that was very conserved. I mean, very not what he's been doing.
And don't get me wrong, the end of the game was frustrating. The defense was frustrating from the mid-third quarter all the way on. But they lost this game in the first and second quarter
when they didn't
they didn't show up.
Well, I can agree with that, man. But at the same time, I feel like Adam Gase and Dow Loggins and company outcoached the Chicago Bears.
I could see it.
Adam Gase especially outcoached Vic Fangio. He attacked that defense.
Yeah, I don't want to make excuses for the defense, but I think it's tougher in hindsight's 2020 when it comes to the conditions that Miami team is always playing in. And I mean, 100 degrees on a defense that is reliant on their speed is tough. And don't get me wrong, the Dolphins have nothing but speed receivers, and the game plan that Dow Loggins and Adam Gase came up with was flawless. They nullified the pass rush that was the Chicago Bears. They attacked these corners short, and the Bears had trouble wrapping up an open field. That's why they lost. That's why the defense was so bad.
That's a huge problem, but the tackling was very, very infuriating.
Oh, absolutely.
I was sitting there watching that. I mean, I know that we're not the same. We don't have the same, hypes as each other. You usually keep me pretty grounded when I get pissed off.
I try to. That's my. I can't let you get too high, but sometimes I got to let you go there because that's what gets us views.
I'm getting red again because I'm getting pissed off thinking about it.
Well, but see, if this was the division, it was on the table for you on Sunday. It was there for the taking.
I'm looking at a team that could be literally 5-0, that's 3-2, which does, don't get me wrong, does still make me feel good. It still gives
absolutely,
me,
because you can make the argument that they could be They could be 2-3.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they could have lost Arizona as well.
They could have lost to Seattle.
Absolutely.
If you really look at that one too.
Exactly.
I mean, if
they
Prince doesn't bail them out.
Yeah, they did not play well in the Seattle game whatsoever.
You could look at that they're 1-and you probably always win that Arizona game, don't you think? No matter how bad they played.
Right.
I mean, but in hindsight, you could look from 1-4 all the way to 5-0.
It's just how Adam Gase and Donald Loggins came up against the defenses. They go, okay, we can't keep the ball in Osweiler's hands too long, so we're going to set it up by doing these quick little screen throws or these quick little 3-yard, 4-yard slant route throws. And then when the defense is getting tired from chasing these guys all over the field, because the yards after catch in that game, dude, 274 yards after catch.
Yeah, that can't happen.
So Brock Osweiler went for 380 yards, right? 274 of those yards, Juice, came after the catch. So that makes our defense right there tired, right? So then you're taking out that front seven because they're chasing guys all over the damn field. Right. Then that sets up your running game.
Yeah.
For Frank Gore to go crazy. And Frank Gore looked like it. Dude, it looked like I was playing Madden 08 again, buddy. I don't know what to say.
I thought that the offense looked very good in the second half. But if you look
the offense looked great in the second half.
But this is going to be my point on it too. We've harped that the offense hasn't been as bad as it shows stat-wise throughout this year because of time of possession. The Bears have actually been towards the top in time of possession. What happened on Sunday was if you look at the average scoring, how long they had the ball, they were scoring so quick that they had to throw the defense back out because they were obviously getting in the end zone when they had a 3-play 75-yard score. It took a minute and a half, and then the defense was right back out there for another long drive late in that third quarter. But I don't want to make excuses for the Bears because I'm going to say that probably out of 100 times they play that game, they win at 90. But everything came into line for the Dolphins to win that game when the Bears came out flat. That's their own damn fault that they came out flat. They missed the kick. That's here nor there. Coaching was suspect, and you could say that they outcoached Matt Nagy. I think we need to pull the reins back, and I've seen a lot of good with Nagy, but it's also he's a first-year coach that is constantly learning through here. But what makes me mad about that is there's 2 games that he's essentially lost on the same mistake. The fact that he wasn't aggressive late in the game when you need extra yardage for a field goal or to put it away against Green Bay.
Now, let me respond to that real quick. As far as the Nagy thing, I have no problem with Matt Nagy whatsoever. Like, I mean,
no,
as far as this game goes, like, yeah, did I wish that he would have lived up to his BU movement thing that he's been doing with his locker room and stayed aggressive? Absolutely. But he's a rookie head coach implementing a very hard offensive system. I don't put this game solely on Matt Nagy. The whole team, they lost as a collective unit.
Absolutely.
This team.
I mean, you can look on every single right. You can look on every single asset of football: offense, defense, special teams. There is one play on, more than one play on each of those that dictated the outcome of this game. I mean, if Mitch Trubisky was terrible in that first quarter, missed plenty of open throws, had plenty of options. The offense looked like wide receivers were running open. I get it, but you got to hit those throws early.
I agree with you, and I agree with you 100% on that. But it's really hard for me to hate on Mitch when I look at a 22 for 31
no,
and I'm not.
No, but it's the evolution and what you have to deal with when you're dealing with a rookie quarterback and a rookie coach.
Right. Mitch is not a rookie, but I know
he's essentially a rookie.
Because John Fox's offense didn't utilize him. I still give you that.
Run pass.
That's what we said at the beginning of the year. I always kind of said that this was Mitch's rookie, new offense, new style kind of play. I always gave him that, but like I told you before in the beginning when we started this whole segment on the Bears, is just I give Adam Gase so much props. I do, and I was very upset when Adam Gase left to go to Miami. I would have rather had him take over the head coaching job, not over Nagy, so don't freak out at me, but I would have had him take the head coaching job over Fox that year. Terminate Fox's contract, pay his ass out, bring on Gase. Gase is young, he's hip, he's fresh. He knows how this offensive system works. And if Gase could have kept Fangio as well, I mean, it would have been a win-win. I mean, Nagy's been great too. Don't get me wrong. Nagy's done some great plays. He's done some great things. I have no problem with that. But Adam Gase picked apart Vic Fangio. And that's my real opinion. I mean, obviously the players executed it, but there was a game plan set in place. And Adam Gase let that game plan run wild, and he did his thing. I mean, like I said, with them short throws, 274 yards after catch, which set up your run. 28 total. Or I'm sorry, not 28. I can't do math. I can do math. 28 total carries between Gore and Drake, right? 158 yards between the two of them. I mean, the passing game set up that running game, which is still pretty cool because the Bears defense is still the only team that has not allowed a rushing touchdown. Still makes me smile a little bit, but Gase did so many good things. You know, Albert Wilson came out, 6 receptions, 155 yards, 25.8 yards. That was his average per reception. Insane. You know, Miami came out with a better game plan. They executed it. They attacked it. If the Bears would have played and showed up in the first half and their offense wasn't struggling, this is a different game, obviously. But kudos where kudos is due.
Oh, absolutely.
Adam Gase and Miami played one hell of a game, and the Bears need to come back next week, and they need to look good. I want to talk about some bright spots for the Bears.
Me too. Like we said, hindsight's 2020. You could point to many different
we can sit here all day
game
and blame anybody.
Yeah,
really.
I mean,
but we're not going to do that.
The hard part with this loss is that you have a team that is the New England Patriots coming in that looked stacked against.
And if people remember your live video, you said that this Patriots game was not going to be a must-win at first, only if we beat Miami. Right. Now becomes
it's a must-win.
It's a must-win.
Yeah, because
to stay ahead in your division.
If you fall 3-3 after giving you were 3-1 and if you lost 2 in a row coming out of the bye as well, it's
not 2 in a row.
Yeah, you would have if they lose on Sunday.
Oh, if they lose on Sunday, yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
So, in retrospect, you need to get this win on Sunday, and you're going against a man who just played the same offense that you're running, and I'm not going to say he was successful, but now Bill Belichick has a week to prepare against essentially the same stuff he's going to see. So this defense is going to have 2 weeks of seeing Kansas City-style offense. And I don't know about you, but if you give Bill Belichick any time, we've seen it time and time and time again in the Super Bowls. If you give him the time and you give him the tape, you usually don't win. He gets it done.
Listen, the Bears haven't beat the Patriots in 18 years. Mm-hmm. I know we only see them, once every 4 years. But we have not beat them in 18 years. Quite a statistic there. Washington we haven't beaten since 2003, I think, which is
which
weird.
Is odd.
Yeah, ain't it? But
I mean, there was the Cutler games where he threw 5 picks to who was that?
D'Angelo Hall.
D'Angelo Hall, yeah.
Name drop.
Yeah, that's a long time.
What a badass cornerback he was, man. I always.
And then after that was so funny. And then after the game, he comes out and says, "We don't know. We don't have to prepare. We know Jay Cutler's gonna throw us the ball."
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
what a dick.
Yeah.
Anyway, some things that I really like seeing is hot take here. Mitch played better than he played in Tampa.
I can agree with that statement.
Mitch came out after the first half of falling flat and made some adjustments. 22 for 31, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, that 1 forced throw in the end zone that everybody in Chicago crucified this kid about again. That's a whole podcast. We can get into that. But 122.5 quarterback rating. Awesome statistic here, Juice Man. 8 rushes for 47 yards. This kid no one talks about him being a running quarterback. He's not. He's got the poise in the pocket from what we've seen in the last 2 weeks. I'm not going crazy here.
Yeah.
But the last 2 games. But he can make plays happen with his feet as well. Mitch looked better to me against Miami than he did against Tampa, and I'm going to tell you why. The adjustments that he made coming out in the second half, learning from his mistakes in the first half, putting the ball where it needed to go. We saw 2 amazing Taylor Gabriel catches in that game.
Yeah, he's really creating space.
That ball was put where only Taylor Gabriel can get his hands on it.
He had a couple of those. He had the one Allen Robinson on the sideline.
Oh, are you talking about that back shoulder throw?
Yeah, that's
that was
a great
amazing.
throw. I know that I'm going to give some credit to the offensive line because we've jumped on them plenty of times. The touchdown to Miller is the cleanest pocket through a blitz that I've seen all year. Mitch steps up in it, looked like a real quarterback at that point, and delivers just a dime, and Miller could essentially walk in the end zone at that point. But I want to talk about Mitch Trubisky and where he ranks in total QBR this year.
Let it fly, buddy.
Total QBR essentially talks about how efficient your offense is through your quarterback. And I'm going to name some names of the top 10 here. And outside at number 11 is our guy, Mitchell Trubisky. Number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. Number 2 is Drew Brees. Number 3 is Jared Goff. Number 4 is Phillip Rivers. Ryan Fitzpatrick is 5th. Tom Brady is in 6th. 7th is Cousins. 8th is Ryan. 9th is Ben Roethlisberger. 10 is Andy Dalton. Now, a lot of elite guys, a lot of guys that are getting MVP notice in this early season in that top. And at 11, there's Mitch Trubisky. Now, I don't want to talk about those guys as much as I want to talk about guys that are after, because this is who this guy is stacking up with as of right now. Below Mitch Trubisky is Carson Wentz, Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Matthew Stafford. Those are Russell Wilson as well. And I know I'm not going to put Russell in this because Russell didn't have much to throw at early in the year, as well as his offensive line's been spotty. Really has no running game. It's essentially Russell Wilson out there by himself. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about Mitch Trubisky's growth, and the guys I just named are MVP caliber quarterbacks, and Andrew Luck when healthy. Same with Rodgers. I know he's been hurt as well this year, but Carson Wentz is the name that really flies out at me because Carson Wentz was the MVP before he tore his ACL last year.
Well, when you look at it, Juice Man, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, and Mitch Trubisky have drawn so many comparisons going into their second years on the jump. God, I hit my head on that. On the jumps that they have made, or that they, Goff and Wentz have made, and people are expecting a similar jump from Mitch Trubisky as well.
Right.
I mean, as of right now, as we sit, projections, and I'm always huge on projections. I like to look at those, and then I like to break it down in my own analytical thoughts throughout the seasons, whether that's basketball, baseball. I mean, we've done it before. Well, we've done it before together with baseball.
Right.
Like this year when you said, what was it? I want to say 25, 30 games into the MLB season, you said Javi hit around 280 to about 300 and, probably hit about 30 home runs this year. That was what you said, Mm-hmm. I love playing those analytical projections. Mitch, and those names that you mentioned are elite quarterbacks.
Right.
Mitch is on pace for like 35 touchdowns and 12 picks.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, would all be Bears records.
Yes. You're not mistaken.
I mean, this guy
He's on pace for yardage.
Yeah.
He's on pace for touchdowns. He's on pace for yards after yards after catch for the receivers, and he's also on pace for QBR.
Now, and we're gonna put this up on the Outcast Twitter after. This was a question I wanted to bring up to you as well as our viewers. Is this the progression of a man that we're seeing in Mitch Trubisky that is progressing in a new system as he gets to know more and more per game, or is this just the new NFL and the way that passing just seems to be open and the league has changed and we need to figure out how to evaluate quarterbacks in a different way?
Okay, so are you asking me that right now?
Yes.
Okay, so your question...
My question is Mitch Trubisky learning, or is this, we need to take this with a grain of salt and say, okay, we are in a new age where you can't touch the quarterback. It is much more open for passes. The offense is king nowadays. So do we need to evaluate Mitch Trubisky, or should we be excited that he is making these progressions, or is it both? Is it a new league and the offense is, and our offense is progressing?
It's 100% Mitch is learning. Yeah, offenses are deadly now. I get it. But there's still some defenses. Legion of Boom isn't that old, all right, for Seattle. I know they didn't exist this year.
Yeah, I can't.
But they're not that old. It's only a couple years old.
Right.
The Bears defense was before the game against Miami, was making Ryan Fitzpatrick broke an NFL record. 3 straight games with 400 yards. we got him benched.
Yeah.
And now he's the backup. Look at the first 2 games with Mitch. Mitch didn't have flashy numbers against the Packers, nor the Seahawks, nor Arizona. So the first 3 games did not have flashy numbers. Comes out with a little scrutiny, finally starts playing confident, and then all of a sudden his QBR jumps up big time.
Yeah.
And so did his completion percentage.
Absolutely.
He's 5th in the league in that. So I think that we're seeing here, Juice Man, I think we're seeing the progression, the confidence, and the evolution of Mitch Trubisky. Do I think that this kid's going to be a Hall of Famer? Do I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler? Do I think he's going to be MVP? I don't know yet because it's only been 2 games with straight poise and confidence that I've seen out of him. But if this is the way the season's going to continue and these projection numbers that we were just talking about with the analytics are going to keep going this way, then, dude, I'm saying Mitch is learning, all right? That's my opinion.
See, I think, and I see your point, I think it's both. I think for every single defense you named, there's the exception to the rule. I mean, there is. You look at what's happening to the Jags the last 2 weeks. People are talking about people are talking about that defense and how elite they were going into the season. They've been subpar the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you know why? Their offense can't keep them off the field.
Yeah, it's a lot of different things. I know they've had some injuries as well, but there are exceptions to the rule. To me, I think it's the new NFL and it's Mitch Trubisky maybe learning a little bit of what works, what doesn't, and Matt Nagy tailoring the offense to his successes. I think that if we look post Arizona, we saw a lot of screens in the beginning of the year. I think we've seen more north-south, more attacking defenses opposing to the east-west stuff. We've still seen some east-west stuff. But I think Nagy understood what Mitch does well is throwing the ball down the field. And if you look, that's what's happening. I think, but like I said, I agree with you. I think that we are seeing a quarterback learn and progress in a system with, I think at this point it's safe to say, no matter what Mitch Trubisky is, Matt Nagy has some tricks up his sleeve. I think we can all, in confidence, believe in Matt Nagy if he can learn the logistics of what happens throughout the game. Only things we've really criticized Matt Nagy on are the strategies with timeouts, with play call, stuff like that, which I think a rookie coach in his 5th game, 6th game coming this week is going to be something that he learns as he progresses through his career. So I want to say it's both. We're going to put this up on the Outcast Twitter. This was my question to everybody. Do you think we're seeing an evolution of Mitch Trubisky, or are we seeing what is the NFL these days, where the offense is king, and maybe Mitch Trubisky is just a product of what is happening out there as well with these defenses? So yeah. I think it's both. I do. I think the right answer, and maybe is both, and I can see how you would lean towards progression because we have seen progression. And like you said, there are defense out there that could make this kid, curl at the knee.
We look forward to seeing that your guys' opinions. Don't just vote on the poll. Please comment under the poll so we can be engaged in conversation with everybody. One more thing about the Bears before we move on. What do you look for Sunday against the Patriots, and what are your hopes for this game? And we're going to be as realistic about this as possible.
Well, my hope is that they can run the ball against this weak front 7 to really keep Tom Brady on the sideline. I think that's how you beat them. You control time of possession. Your defense comes to play and gets pressure up the middle. The problem with what the New England Patriots have always bestowed upon their opponents is their interior offensive line is usually very solid. So getting pressure on Tom Brady through the center so he can't step up into his throws is always huge. But the Patriots always seem to keep a clean pocket. It's something that I think Bill Belichick preaches all the time. I think the Dolphins kind of laid the groundwork on how to beat the Bears with these short throws, but I think the tackling going into this week is going to be much tighter than what happened in Miami on Sunday. I also don't know, and I don't want to say that they're not going to be able to do it because you never say that a Bill Belichick team can't do something. But the yard after the catch stuff, I don't think New England has the personnel to do that. I think that Wilson, there's not guys who are going to burn you on the outside, though. It's mainly good. It is good route runners, and it's guys who are, they're not going to turn it up and beat you to the sideline.
There's one.
Who?
Josh Gordon.
He's just a big receiver, though. He's a big guy with a big catch radius. To me, he's not a guy who's going to, he can run by you, but I have faith that Matt Nagy and Vic Fangio will have a lot of guys shaded that way. I'm just saying there's no Albert Wilson on this team that you could throw a screen to and get a 75-yard touchdown.
I mean, Edelman's back, as we all know.
Right, but he's a possession guy. He's a good route runner.
Chris Hogan.
Yeah, he's been terrible this year.
He has been terrible, but he's playing the Bears. A lot of guys with good hands that can make plays happen. I feel that this Josh Gordon signing, whoever's guard, if it's going to be Fuller on Gordon, Fuller going to have to show up.
Yeah,
and
they're gonna really, and who knows even who's starting on the outside of the other spot because Amukamara didn't even finish the game.
Well, did you actually see that Bryce Callahan was ranked up there within the top 3 of?
Yeah, I don't worry about him, but I worry about the nickel, and I think Green Bay does this too to us. The Patriots are gonna do. They're gonna try to spread the Bears out a lot. I think you'll see a lot of 4 wide receiver sets. And they're going to try to get White on a linebacker, which I don't think is smart because I think Roquan Smith is fully capable of keeping up with any running back that's coming out of the backfield.
Who are they pairing on Gronk?
Yeah, that's Gronk. He's been pretty solid, but he's got the ankle injury too, and Gronk hasn't been the mainstay of this offense as much as Brady throwing quick hot screens. It's going to be huge. The Bears can't have a tackling day like they had last Sunday because if that happens, this game's going to get away from them real fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you looking for on Sunday?
I'm looking for the offense to do what they've been doing the last couple weeks against this defense. Keep up with Brady a little bit. Try to keep up with TB12. I'm looking for the defense to come out and expect these short little throws. I've watched 2 Patriots games this year in full. The primetime games that they have been on, and what you see is a James White short throw, yards after catch. And as you guys know, last week in Miami, we got burned in yards after catch.
Yep.
So that's something that we're going to need to be watching is James White getting the ball out of the backfield. The run game. If Tom starts getting those throws, Sony McCall, whatever his name is, the rookie, he had a hell of a game last week against Kansas City. I know our defense is leaps and bounds better than Kansas City, but still something that we need to watch. Also, we need to watch the pairing against Kyle Fuller and Josh Gordon because Josh Gordon's hands look like a goddamn vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, and it's you've seen Kansas the progression City. Of what's happening with Josh Gordon week to week with the Patriots. They're starting to go to him a lot more each week.
Arguably, besides Randy Moss and Deion Branch, Josh Gordon, if he keeps his head out of his ass, will be the best wide receiver TB12's ever had to throw to.
Yeah, I can agree with that. He's very talented. That's the big if.
He's got it. Well, I mean, he's going to come out.
It's his last shot. He probably knows it too. No other team's picking him up. That's what the Patriots do.
Right. So I mean, at this point, how he looked against Kansas City. I mean, anything you throw at him, it's a vacuum. So definitely something that we need to watch out for. Predictions for the game: Bears are pulling this game out. 35-24. Bears.
35-24, you said?
Bears.
27-31 Patriots.
Ow. Yeah, I get it.
I can't bet against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
It's been 18 years since the Bears have beat the Patriots. We're about due.
I'm going to tell you what, if they beat the Pats, they will announce to the league that they're for real. And I will tell you a big reason why they beat the Pats. It's going to be the fans at home. If they are able to,
it's the fourth phase,
if they're able to be loud and cause some ruckus and get this defense really into the game early, and if the defense is able to have success early and the crowd is into it from the get-go, it makes for a ruckus arena, and it's going to be tough for the Pats to audible out of things, to work on the fly. I really do think that Tom Brady's going to try to do a lot of no huddle against the Bears. They're going to try to get the Bears on their heels, and we'll see what happens with the defense when they get put in that spot. But it's on us to be loud the whole time that the Patriots are out there. Not just on third down, Bears fans. First and second down are going to be huge in this game, because if you could put the Pats in first and long or second and long, that's any NFL team. If you can get them in second and long, the playbook shrinks. If you can get them in 3rd and 9, there's only so many plays that you can run and get a first down, and that's when this defense can feast. So, I still 31-27. I can't pick against Tom Brady. I can't.
I get it.
He's the GOAT.
Go to Sports Mockery for Chicago sports news and commentary from those who know it best, the fans.